Warning! The Stone Age Gamer podcast includes a lot of bad language. Cover your motherfucking ears.
Good evening and welcome to the Stone Age Gamer podcast. I am Kris Randazzo and joining me tonight is pretty cool bird, Dan Ryan.
Yeah, I'm not bad.
Not bad.
You know.
It's time for the final
I'll get you some
installment
weapons.
in this round of the Alphabet Super Series. It was my pick for numbers, and I went with 8 Eyes for NES. Does this Castlevania-inspired Taxan adventure have anything to offer? Make sure you've got yourself a second player on hand because the Stone Age Gamer podcast starts now. Hi everyone, this is episode 592. It's the week of November 14th, 2025, and welcome. For anyone new here, this is the official podcast of StoneAgeGamer.com. Dan and I talk every week about what's happening in the world of video games from a retro gamer's perspective, as well as whatever the hell else is going on in our lives. And I gotta tell you, Dan, it's been a week. It's been another week.
I've heard. I saw, I suppose, is the better way to put that. Apparently, you're sickly, is what.
Yes,
what
I'm
I
not
understand.
feeling. I am not feeling. I've been fighting it all week, and I've been fighting it and winning. And then yesterday, I lost yesterday. This was finally over. I did. I appreciate everyone's, let's say, enthusiastic insistence that I take drugs, but it's just not where I'm at. I'm going to stick with therapy for the time being. And, you know, I did get a good night's sleep last night. I took some melatonin and was able to sleep through the night, and that was certainly something. Yeah, I understand where everyone's coming from. I'm not an anti-medication person. I just like to try to see if I can get through things without having to rely on medication, because I would prefer to solve the underlying problem than just treat the symptoms. That's where my head's at.
Yeah, you're better than
that.
us. We get it. It's fine.
But yes, I did finally get some sleep last night. I almost got some sleep the night before with this melatonin trick. Because usually I don't like taking melatonin because it makes me feel really groggy. But it had gotten to the point where I just was delirious all day, every day, and barely functional. And it's like, well, it's time to just, it's time to Band-Aid the bullet hole in this particular situation. So I took some melatonin, and I probably would have slept straight through the night had I not decided to try Chipotle's new chimichurri sauce earlier that day. Because I was feeling great that day. This was Wednesday? I don't know. It was one day this week. I want to say it must have been Wednesday. I was feeling pretty okay, and right, because Tuesday I was feeling not great, and then I got over it. The next day, Wednesday, I was like, all right, I'm feeling good. I beat the sick. We got this. And then I forgot to thaw the chicken for my lunch. I was like, well, forget it. I'm just going to go over to Chipotle. They've got that chimichurri sauce I've been waiting to try, right. So I did. And everything had been going fine. And then I took the melatonin and I went to bed. And at around 1 o'clock, my stomach was just like, excuse me, sir. You have business to attend to. And I was so conked out from the melatonin that I was like, you know what? No, I'm just going to sleep through this. And then my body was just like, you're going to sleep in a mountain of shit if you don't get out of your bed right now. So I just folded over, shitting my brains out. I'm so tired. And I did get back to sleep, which never happens. Usually once I'm up, I'm kind of up. But
especially because you're still in bed covered in shit. It's hard to get back to sleep.
I went to the bathroom. I went there, got back to sleep. But then, a few hours later, my stomach was like, excuse me, sir, the problem is returned. So
sir, they're back.
It was a bad night of sleep. And then the health kind of took a turn from there. And, so I did, like I said, I finally slept last night. It was nice. I'm really hoping I can sleep again tonight. But I'm better today than I was yesterday, but still not 100%.
Yeah.
So, that's kind of where we're at. And then, it's just another week of lots of work. The November sales are going along. Turquoise Friday is happening. We're well prepped for Magenta Friday. this coming week. It's going well, I think, but it's been a lot of work and a lot of stuff and things, and Hopper smells terrible. He's getting a bath tomorrow.
That stinks.
Yeah, it does. He's rolling around in shit or something. I don't know. He doesn't seem to mind at all. But like, he gets close to me, and I'm just like, excuse what? I mean, he doesn't smell as bad as Naga, who smells like, she rolled around in corpses or something. But he just smells like dirty dog. It's been a little while since he's had a bath. He's due, and he hates baths, so he's going to be an unhappy fella. But he's so handsome. My God, really what a handsome boy! But it's the Alphabet Super Series. This is where we are. We've reached the conclusion. Are we going to do the ranking this time? I forgot to look at your. I don't think your calendar covered the Alphabet Super Series ranking thing, did it?
It didn't. No. I mean, I suppose we could work it in because my rankings are updated like automatically. Because I just plug it in.
Yes. I guess we would just have that conversation now, right? Or I thought we were going to do some whole dumbass thing, but no, we're starting over after this, right?
I figured, yeah.
And
we're starting over in February, but yeah.
Yeah, you have something in December for Super Series Christmas? What's that mean?
Yeah, the Super Series Christmas special.
For anyone listening, Dan has planned out their next, I don't know, several
to
months
the end of February.
To the end of February of podcast topics, because he's feeling what's the word?
Horny.
Let's go with that.
Usually.
Let's go with that. What's Alphabet Super Series Christmas? What's that about?
So I figured, right, so pulling back the curtain a little bit, looking ahead to next year, as we plan to make some changes for the podcast and do some different things, I was just kind of looking and trying to be a little bit more ahead of the 8-ball versus the unprepared mess that I usually am. And I got to thinking, and I said to myself, Martha, maybe you want to plan some of this out and kind of look where there's opportunities to do things and start a new segment that we will be debuting next for the upcoming year. We listened to you guys. You had talked about how much you guys love the starter kits, and how a lot of you found the podcast through the starter kits. So we've got a riff on that idea that's brewing. But we're not ready to go really anymore into details than that. But I was like, let me start planning this out. And as I was looking at things and doing, like we usually do a shopping list topic, and we do the Game Awards, and we do XYZ, and where does all that fit in? I saw that in the month of December, there was an open week that I didn't have anything written down for. And with the way I planned this out, the Super Series would kind of have been on hiatus until the first time we talked about my pick for the letter A in February. So this way, we're only going to miss the month of January with the Super Series because we've got so many other topics to hit. I figured, you know what? Why don't we play a Christmas-themed game?
Oh, that's the same thing. I thought the next line was a different episode.
No. So, yeah.
That makes way more sense.
So spoilers for the end of this segment, but we're going to do the Alphabet Super Series Holiday Special Edition, where we'll save the game for when we're done talking about 8 Eyes, I suppose. You don't want to. You just want to unbutton. You want to unbutton the top 2 or 3 buttons. You don't want to take the whole shirt off at the beginning of the night.
Word. Oh boy. So it was my pick, the Alphabet Super Series, where we take turns picking games alphabetically, games that we were interested in playing, just kind of see how they were. See what we can stumble upon. And we finished the alphabet and decided to do one for numbers. So I picked 8 Eyes for NES, which is a game that I've always been interested in, but have never bothered to play.
Right.
So...
And I haven't played this in 30 years.
I always thought the cover was really cool looking.
It's a very cool cover. Yeah.
It was originally released on the NES in January 1990. It was developed by Thinking Rabbit and published by Taxan here in North America. Thinking Rabbit has been defunct for, well, let's see. It was founded in 1982. I don't think it is defunct. They were the original publisher of Sokoban. Interesting. Wow. No, they're not around anymore. It just doesn't say when they ended. But it looks like sometime in like 95, maybe, they were out. Didn't do a whole lot.
No.
Apparently they were involved in the Game Boy version of Mega Man 2. Yeah, they were the ones that developed and screwed up the music in Mega Man 2 for Game Boy.
I was going to say, I can kind of see some of the DNA in that. You know?
Apparently they had an NEC PC 8801 game called A Clown Murder Case. Fantastic. So Eight Eyes is a very heavily Castlevania-inspired 2D action game where you control a dude and his bird. There was some sort of story about kings and stuff. And look, I'm gonna be dead honest with you. I put about 15 minutes in this game, and I said, "Fuck this." Life is too short to be spending time on something that I hate, and I did not enjoy this even a tiny bit. I did some research to find out it was interesting, right? Because like you've got this bird, and the visually it's at least level. No, I'm not gonna say level design wise, but like just there's stairs everywhere. It's got a very Castlevania look, even though it takes place like a future post-apocalyptic kind of thing. Your character in the game, all this game's art direction, like the box art looked awesome. All the in-game art direction is just terrible. There's nothing visually attractive about this in the least.
And it's just completely derivative of Castlevania.
I mean, just again, all surface level stuff. The gameplay is very not Castlevania.
No.
Which is interesting. The gameplay is... Like, there's an interesting idea here. There really is. The whole, guy and his bird working together. And the fact... So, I mentioned 2 players earlier. This game was clearly designed to be played with 2 players cooperatively, which is a really interesting thing for an NES game. And it's not like Contra 2-player co-op. Like, one player controls the dude and one player controls the bird. You each have your own health meter that you have to pay attention to. The bird can do things the guy can't. The guy can do things the bird can't. It is a very interesting concept that's just executed so poorly. The music was totally unmemorable. Again, the visuals. Your guy on the box, like the guy and the bird on the box art, is super cool looking. But in the game, you look... I don't know. You look like... I don't even know what you look like.
You look like one of the random villagers that walks around in Castlevania 2.
Except worse, like deformed or something. I don't know, man. Everything surface level about this game was just wretched. I could not have cared less about anything that was happening while I was playing it. Because you look like
not what you want.
No, it's not. Like your dude looks like a hunchback, kind of, but like with long legs. I think. Isn't that it? It's Orin and Cuttress is your bird. Orin is you. And, again...
Bird's name should be Curtis.
The ideas behind so much of this are cool. Like, you've got these rooms. There's monster ideas that aren't horrible, but, none of it looks good. None of it's executed well. All of it's annoying. And the building blocks that make up the stages themselves are extremely derivative of Castlevania. Everything's surface level. But God, your character could not be less cool looking if he tried.
No, he really couldn't.
There's absolutely nothing exciting about controlling this freaking doofus. It's just the thumbs downiest of thumbs down. I was so disappointed in this. Not that I had like huge expectations, but
sure, but better
Right.
than what's actually here. Because on top of everything you're saying, it's just not fun to play or control. Like,
yeah, everything about the execution is terrible.
It's really, really bad. Like you said, controlling the bird with one player is, it's fucking maddening. It's just maddening.
Not fun.
And the range on your main attack on the sword, because like every time you beat one of the bosses, your sword powers up, and like that's great. But it's still like it's like you fucking showed up to a porn set with a micro penis. Like, what are we doing here? This is, I mean, that's a very weird fucking comparison, but it really is like
that, you know.
Yeah, and this game is for some people, I would imagine. But like, you have the tiniest little swipe attack with your sword, and
what's interesting about that, before you go any further, I wanted to touch on that specific thing, because I wanted to look this game up afterwards to get a little bit more of a feel for, because I had always heard that this game was at least interesting. So I looked up a couple of like YouTubers that were like, here's why this game is actually pretty cool. And somebody described this as like, I know you hear this phrase a lot, but this game has a lot of sort of Dark Souls-y DNA, because what the bosses have all these very, like, you know what the patterns are. Like their patterns are telegraphed. They all have a pattern, and you have to learn it. You have to be very patient with going in for when you can safely attack and then run away. Like, the combat in this game is very much based on poke and like dash. Like, it's all about hit and run over and over and over again. And that's kind of like, from what my understanding is, that's kind of like the Dark Souls mentality as far as like boss battles. You're waiting for your opening. Once you memorize the patterns and figure out what the opening is, you go in, you attack, you dodge roll away, and then you wait for another opening to attack. And that's kind of the basis of what the combat of this game is, except it's not even remotely fun.
Right. That's where it all falls down, right? Like in Dark Souls and Elden Ring and all of those games like that, Lies of P, like all of these kind of Souls-like boss rush type games, the combat is incredibly satisfying and fun, and like you have access to things like the dodge roll or a quick dash or whatever. Whereas this, you just kind of you like run up to it, do dink, and then like scurry away to the other side. Like, it's just not
slowly scurry away.
Yeah, it's just not very fun, because it's like you said, it's just not any fun to control. He moves strangely slowly. Like, it's not even slow to where there's like a weight to the character. It's just kind of slow the whole time. It's sluggish.
I remember when we did Master of Illusion for Master System, which is another extremely Castlevania derivative game. But even that was more, and I didn't think that game was all that fun either, but it's got this one beat by a country mile. Even though it was slightly less interesting, like the bird mechanic thing really does add something interesting to this game. And all the opening and all unlocking doors and the secrets that you can find with the bird is all very interesting. But God, it's just not fun. There was nothing fun about this, and I just stopped, because I'm not going to sit and force myself to play a 4 to 10 hour game or whatever it is. I'm just not going to force myself to play these games to conclusion, because it doesn't seem like a good use of my time.
No, sure.
I know that was,
and on top of that, in order to get the best ending for this,
you got to
beat
it like 3 times.
You got to beat it 3 times. Where it gets harder each time. You don't get any like faster or better. It's just harder. Like,
again,
what are we doing here?
That's not interesting, but it's also there's good structure here. It's interesting. It's just not good. Like, if there was something more entertaining to go off of in the first place, that would be a different story. But that's not what we have. which is kind of tragic because there's something here. There was something here that definitely did not get delivered on, but there was something there, and I will give it that.
Yeah. I didn't love it. I did not love it.
Yeah, the same here. I didn't love it.
I wanted to. I really did. But as I was playing through it, I remembered why I stopped playing it 30 years ago as well. I was like, oh, that's why. This game sucks.
Yeah, it's just not a good game.
Tragically
not good.
Tragically not good. Yeah.
Good idea. Good bones. Good structure. Just terrible execution. So I'm not going to waste any more of my time on this, but we did have some interesting, some thoughts in the Discord. I'll soon get to answer the exciting question: is this worth $12? P2 Mc28 apparently bought this game for $12. Let's see, what was fascinating? Oh, this was the Zork Google thing. Okay. Trying to find specifically the ADI's information here.
Right.
Let's see. P2Pic2028 sent a video of him turning on his NES with 8 eyes in it. I'm now just noticing the possessive S on 8 eyes on that title screen. Well, crap. This is going to be one of those needs save states or the time of an 8-year-old kid in the 90s, isn't it? It's on NES. That's how everything is. We're all old now, says Genix. P2Mic28. Okay, I need a manual. Surely there's some help in there. Okay, yes. You can tell your bird, Cutris, to attack or some such. That might help. Oh, snap. Get yourself a friend. Yes, there is a 2-player mode. The manual is a hell of a read, which I'm sure it is. The story in here was certainly something. And then Genix said, so I messed with this game a bit. This was always available for rent at my local Dairy Mart when I would go in for slush puppies or candy. If you don't get a cherry slush puppy, if they're available, then you should be imprisoned. But I never rented it. It's like if Castlevania and Mega Man made sweet, sweet Nintendo sexy times and had a baby. Beating bosses of each stage gives you their weapon, which other bosses are weak against, and there are sub-weapons like Castlevania. The last stage has you battling all the previous bosses. What's crazier is that while it's all olden times feeling, it takes place after nuclear war, and one of the sub-weapons is a gun. What in the hell? So it's an intriguing game, but feels like it plays really slowly to me. There's some interesting music in here, but nothing that would make you really want to add it to a video game music playlist. We all have those, right? Yes, we do. Graphics are fine. The sprites are fine. Overall, to me, the game is a run-of-the-mill middling NES game. It definitely feels like, but we have Castlevania at home. Play it if you're curious. I don't feel like it'll anger you, unless you're trying to get the complete ending, which requires you to beat the whole game 3 goddamn times. I'll spoil it for you. It's a text crawl screen with slightly different text each time. Don't do it. Well, Genix was nicer to it than we were.
Yeah.
I would say that the graphics were less than fine. The sprites were definitely less than fine. And I didn't play it long enough to hear any music that was worth it. Good goddamn to me. Any final thoughts before we rank this bitch?
Yeah, just on the music, like, I really like the opening title screen. I thought that was a really catchy track. And then the rest of the music, I was just so frustrated by the game, that I was like, I hate all of this, So I don't know that my score is accurate, but it is my score nonetheless. So, as you said, let us rank this bitch.
Let us have lettuce. Graphics.
2.5.
I mean, yeah, 2.5 is exactly where I'm at. I've seen worse.
I've seen worse. I like... There are some interesting things, because the level design itself, just as far as like the level layout, is pretty shit and derivative of Castlevania. However, it did do, I thought, an interesting little thing where, as you pick what location you're going to, they all felt very different. Madrid did not feel like what did they call the Arabian one? I forget now off the top of my head.
But there's like area in the game.
Yeah.
Oh, crap baskets. I don't remember all that stuff.
I just forget. But so like the Arabian area feels very, very different than the Spain area. Like, and I thought that was at least worthy of a 1.5 or so.
Oh, it was called Arabia.
It was called Arabia. Okay, I thought so, but I felt like I was just being like a dumb American there for a second. Like, it was over in Arabia. Like,
the Arabian area is called Arabia.
Yeah. So, like there's some interest. There's some interesting things going on there. It's just kind of wrapped up in a shit sandwich. So, like, oh, all right. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. So sound, I'm gonna give it a 2. It wasn't like there wasn't like screechy horrible sound, but it was very unmemorable. Sure. So it wasn't enough to get like middle of the road to me. I just didn't care. So 2.
I went 2.5 because I like the opening title track enough.
Good enough.
And the rest of it's fine.
I gave Controls a 3 because the control isn't specifically awful. Considering that the NES controller is what it is, trying to come up with a system that allows you to control, I appreciated its ambition. It didn't work, so it doesn't get any more than, I guess, middle of the road. Yeah, 2.5 is middle of the road, so I'm going 2.5. Yeah. I give it some credit for ambition.
I went with a 2 on Control because you're right, there is some ambition, but they failed miserably. So, like, it's just not any fun to fucking play. It is not fun to control at all. And there's not enough of anything else to draw it into to make putting up with that control worth it to me.
And for the fun factor, I gave it a 2 because I did not enjoy myself.
I gave it a 1. It's not a fun game. It is not fun.
I would agree with that. All right. Well, I guess it's time for the rankings. It's time to find out what we're doing here. So I'm going to sort these by point total. And I'm going to go the opposite direction. Fuck it. All right. So where do you want to do this? You want to start at the bottom and work our way up?
Yep. 27 to 1. We'll just go back and forth. What's your lowest ranked game?
With 5.5, Contra Legacy of War.
Oof. As it is mine, except I gave it a 3.
Next on the list was Eternal Champions with a whole 6 points.
Eternal Champions with 6 points.
Excellent. And now I've got a 4-way tie. These 4 each have 9 points. Tied at 9 was Jersey Devil, Yo-Noid, Zork, and 8 Eyes.
Mm-hmm. I have got a 3-way tie, so 25, 24, and 23. That would be 8 Eyes, Wizards and Warriors 3, and Jersey Devil, all with a score of an 8.
Good times. So it's 23. 22, my 22 is Karate Kid at 10, which is a shame because I genuinely like that game, but, it's not good.
No, it really isn't. Again, for anyone listening for the first time who hasn't heard me speak on this before, please emulate this game and remap the jump button to one of the other buttons on your 4-button controller that you are using on your computer. It makes it such a better game. That said, it is in a tie with my number 22 selection. So I've got Karate Kid and Yo-Noid at 8.5 points apiece.
So that was your 22 and 21 or 23 and 22?
Yes. 22 and 21.
Okay, so my 21 was actually a tie. I've got my 21 and 20 tied at 10.5 points, where Wizards and Warriors 3 and Incredible Crisis. 2 games, again, that I like, but if I'm looking at them objectively, are not very good, which is tragic.
Yeah, I've got right there at my 20 and 19, I've got a tie with 10 points with Incredible Crisis. and Silent Debuggers.
Ooh, Silent Debuggers. That's coming up close for me. My number 19 is Montezuma's Return for Game Boy Color. That's a game.
It is.
It is a game. I really don't hate that game. It's a decent little pick up and play kind of a situation. Not an all-time classic, super catchy music, some fun animations, but yeah, solid game.
What was your score on that one?
11.
Because my number 18 is Montezuma's Revenge at 10.5.
And my number 18 is Silent Debuggers at 11.5.
So we're right in the same genital area together here,
Yes,
which is nice. I am really, just as an aside, I am really curious about that Montezuma's Revenge, Montezuma's Return remake thing that's coming out.
No, you're right. The Revenge is the one that's being remade.
Or it is Revenge. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm really interested in that. I don't know how
I thought
much...
it looked terrible.
I did too.
Just terrible.
But I'm interested. I don't know what my interest to dollar value is. I think probably at like $5 is where my interest is, but I don't know. We'll see.
I guess we will. My number 17 at 12 points. Actually, I got another tie. We've got a 12 and 12 here for 17 and 16, which is Xerxes and Alicia Dragoon.
Oh, that's
Alicia Dragoon.
I know.
What an interesting game that was. Yeah, it really kicked us off in an interesting situation. It was another game that was like, I kind of wanted to like that more than I did because it had some neat ideas. But it was just the execution wasn't quite there. It was the controls, I think, that killed it for me most. That was the 2.5. Everything else was just like middle of the road, 3, and 3.5. But yeah, the controls really hurt that one.
Well, at my 17 and 16 with 11 points apiece, I have Alicia Dragoon and the PlayStation Q*bert.
Ah, yeah, I liked that one more than you did. Got myself another three-way tie here, 15, 14, 13. It's a three-way tie with Ranger X, Power Blade 2, and Ninja Gaiden for Master System, all at 13 points.
All right.
Solid games all around.
I will catch up to you at 15 with a solid 12 points. I've got Guerrilla War. Then at 14, I have Zork with a total of 13 points. And then echoing what you just said, at number 13, I have Ranger X with 13.5 points.
Boy, Zork was way down there for me. We definitely had different experiences on Zork. I got another tie here. 12 and 11 for me. We're tied at 14 points. We're Q*bert and Batman Return of the Joker. I still really like that Q*bert game.
I know that you definitely like it more than me. I don't hate it, but I've never been the biggest Q*bert guy. You know, it's just... If I was sitting in an arcade and Q*bert and Defender were there, or Q*bert and Space Invader, like I was usually going to something other than Q*bert.
That's fair. I understand you don't have a soul.
That is fair. Oh, excuse me. So I have let's see, at 14 points, I have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-way tie.
Good Lord, okay.
Yeah, so going from numbers, so at number 12 to number 8, all with 14 points. I've got On the Ball, Xerxes, the Ninja Gaiden, or Gaiden, if you're not an asshole like me, for the Sega Master System, Power Blade 2, and Batman Return of the Joker.
Ah. You didn't play On the Ball, did you? Or did you go back and play
No,
that
I did,
one?
yeah. I eventually played it. We didn't talk about it.
Right.
It was cool.
I very much... I liked that game, especially with the mouse controls. I got
I would
weird
like to
hopes
play
that's
it with
show
mouse
up
controls.
on
Yes.
that shows up on Switch too. That would be pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. So I'll catch back up to you. I'm going up to 8, right?
Yes.
I got a 2-way tie with 14.5 points, On the Ball and Guerrilla War for NES. And then my number 8 was A Hat in Time with 15 points.
Oh, I like that a little bit more than you did. All right, give me your number 7.
My number 7 with 16 points was Flashback.
All right. My number 7 with 15 points was Life Force. I do really like that game. It's fucking hard, though.
Yeah, it is. My number 6 with 16.5 points was Demon's Crest.
Good game. I like that game. We'll say it in a minute. My number 6 with 17.5 points was Flashback. Man, I like Flashback.
I've got another tie here. This is actually tied for third place for me here, right? Because I've got 4 games left on my list, and these 2 are tied. So tied at third place with 18 points, Life Force and Toei Hank's Pro Skater 2.
Love Toei Hank. Mm-hmm. Well, I've got tied for second place because I have 5 games left here, but I've got 2 in second, and 3 tied for first. I've got it 18 points. Yeah, 18 points. I've got A Hat in Time and Demon's Crest.
Okay. My second place, single game, at 18.5, Beautiful Joe.
And I know what your number 1 is, so I won't say it. So I will give you my 2 tied for first place, Toei Hank's Pro Skater 2 and Beautiful Joe, both with 19 points. And then to match your first place, Kris, also tied in first place for me is...
UN Squadron.
UN motherfucking Squadron.
First place for me with 20 points. UN Squadron.
I had 19 points. What was I a dick about and took a point away? Let me go back and look at UN Squadron.
Mine's was 5 across the board.
I had Control. Control I had at a 4. And now I can't remember why I said that, because that was months ago.
It's a fucking shooter. You move it and it moves.
I know. There was something I didn't like, though. I don't remember what the fuck it was. I might have just been being a dick.
You definitely picked more winners than I did. I went for...
I certainly did.
I had a few more reaches. You had a few more, you picked shit like Demon's Crest, and, you're picking, all-time classics, and I'm like... Let's try 8 Eyes out. Yeah. I always wanted to try Yo Noid. Oh boy, I definitely picked the worst ones. I picked Eternal Champions and Contra,
and Legacy of War.
Yeah. Bad times.
Yeah, I certainly played it a little bit safer, but but not necessarily, right? Ninja Gaiden on the Sega Master System, I knew that I liked it, but I wasn't sure how anybody else was going to feel about it.
I feel like you're in pretty safe hands when you're picking a 2D Ninja Gaiden game.
That's fair. But Xexes, Ranger X...
those were interesting picks.
Those were interesting.
I did not care for
I thought Jersey Devil was going to be a lot better than it was, but man, I did not care for that.
Nah, that was not a great game. But this was a great time. I very much enjoyed this.
It was, and I am very much looking forward to getting back to it. We will give my pick for the letter A the first week of January. So the first episode we record in January will be on January 2nd. That is the first Friday of the year. And we will be, as is planned right now, doing the Golden Caveman Awards on the 2nd of January. And I will hit you with what my pick is going to be for the letter A at that time, because I haven't even fucking thought about it. But in the meantime, your homework assignment for this month, kids, is to take part in the Stone Age Gamer Alphabet Super Series Holiday Spectacular, where we will be playing one of Kris's all-time favorite games, Christmas Nights into Dreams.
Yay! It's not one of my all-time favorite games, but I really enjoy playing at Christmas.
How dare you take that away from me? One of Kris's all-time favorite games at Christmas time. Because that's the thing, right? We've talked about this year after year, and it hasn't gotten any better. There still are not good Christmas games, which is fucking weird.
Is it?
I think it is. I think there's something there's enough characters that are Christmas or Christmas adjacent that I think there's something interesting that could be done. I don't know.
I don't know that I
what
agree
it
with that
is.
sentiment. I don't know that there needs to be a good Christmas video game. I don't feel like Christmas is... I mean, unless it's some sort of, like, high-stakes present-delivering Santa management game, but...
I mean...
I don't know what else
like
about Christmas specifically says, fucking, like, platformer.
We've got Goat Simulator, and people are, like, sucking each other's dicks over Goat Simulator, but I can't get, like, a fucking Santa Simulator? Come on.
Oh, man. What they need to do is Overcooked, but the Elves Workshop.
Right? Like, there you go. Look at how easy that was.
That would be
you just
so
fucking
cool.
crack the code, Kris.
Oh, I would love that.
Fucking Reindeer Simulator. I don't fucking know. Like, it just... I understand why there are not Thanksgiving games. I get that. There should also be an Overcooked Thanksgiving game where you just make, like, fucking candied yams and bullshit. Or, like, I don't know, white people potato salad so you don't fucking put salt on anything. But, like...
That's a Thanksgiving game. What are you cooking? Candied yams.
Yeah.
Why was that turkey didn't occur to you as the first thing to mention? No, fucking candied yams. You think Thanksgiving, it's candied yams. That's what it is.
That's my favorite part of Thanksgiving. I like the yams the best, the sweet potatoes. That's the thing I'm most looking forward to. It's like 3 weeks away and I can't fucking wait.
Oh, God. All right, well, this has been a hoot. We're going to take ourselves a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about what's going on in the world of week-old news. You're listening to the Stone Age Gamer podcast from Geekade.com. Stick around. And now, here's a quick look at some of the other original content available now from our partners and Geekade.com.
First up, why hey there. Just getting the house ready for winter. I hope it's not like the Halloween of 91. It's getting chilly out, and oofda, I gotta be doing something indoors, right? Well, anyways, Matt and Kris over at Waveback. I don't know if this is Minnesota, but I did do research, and oofda and the Halloween of 91 are Minnesota things. Well, anyways, Matt and Kris over at Waveback got a real nice thing for you. It's October, so they're doing their annual spooky episode. This time it's all about Castlevania Bloodlines on the Sega Genesis. Yeah, sure. They're mostly digging into the music, though. That game is where the good soundtrack started, the modern era of Castlevania tunes. And let me tell you that Michiru Yamane, he's a pretty good composer, not bad at all. If you're looking for something to listen to while you're sitting inside, well, you pour yourself a pop, microwave a hot dish, and put on episode 189, Castlevania Bloodlines. It's a nice listen, don't you know? I don't think that was a very good Minnesota accent, but...
It was very, Jesus Christ, now I can't remember his name. Dan Aykroyd.
Well, okay, I'll take it. I think.
Oh boy, I don't even know where to start on this one.
Just as a He-Man woman hater, I believe is your motivation for this one.
See, I was going more like, I don't want to say it. I feel like it's still too soon. But there was a guy. There was a guy that used to be around. Used to like debating people. That's kind of what I'm going to channel here.
Yeah, no, that's not what I was going for. I was just kind of going for like a pastiche
like
or
Meathead or okay.
Maybe I don't know. Yeah.
Is this thing on? Fine. So there's this SNES podcast, right? And this week they did an episode on Barbie games. Yeah, you heard me. Barbie for the Super Nintendo. Apparently the hosts went through all the released and unreleased titles. They talked about how this cultural icon, their words, not mine, started out with some rough video games. I guess they're different games, which, whatever, they're still Barbie. Look, you need 40 minutes of two guys dissecting why a game based on a doll from the 90s isn't Final Fantasy VI, then knock yourself out. This is the show for you. It's the SNES Podcast, episode 267, Barbie Games. It exists. You can find it on Pinecast, or wherever you get your podcasts. Just play Chrono Trigger instead, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that works. Finally,
I believe you.
Hey, listen up, bro. I'm here to tell you about Turquoise Friday and Stone Age Gamer, but mostly I'm here to brag about how much I won and how badly you messed up. I'm already sitting on a massive pile of upgrades, dude. I got that Fenrir Duo for my Saturn, 35% off, thanks. While you were probably still, waiting for your next paycheck? Classic. Yeah, I already built my custom Dreamcast with the Dreamcast Builder, bro. Snag that $30 discount. Lock in, chat. You know my cool transparent shell you know how cool my transparent shell looks right now? No, you don't, because you missed it. They had everything, too. They had replacement shells for the SNES, for the GameCube, even that ancient PlayStation of yours. Wireless controllers for practically nothing. I bought 3 just because I could. So while you're listening to this ad and realizing you blew your chance to actually save money on real retro gear, just know that I have the best setup now. I won Turquoise Friday. Maybe next week you'll be faster for Magenta Friday. Probably not, though. Did I get that right? Is it Magenta Friday next week?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Nailed it.
Excellent. Sweet. I just realized as I was reading that I don't actually know what a YouTuber sounds like. I assume I said chat and bro a couple of times, so I think I nailed it.
Yeah, I think you have too manly of a voice, honestly.
Hey, listen up, bro. I'm here to tell you about... That's my unmanly voice. I don't know.
Yeah,
was that better?
It's gotta be more just generally kind of like high pitched and talking really like this, and you gotta over enunciate things, and you gotta be like, oh, bro, and yo, man, oh, this is sick chat. What?
Oh, sick chat. That's what I should have put in there. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you're inherently too smart to be that vapid. It would take a real, you gotta just remove so many layers of intelligence before you get to where that is, I think.
Yeah. Well, for all this and more from our partners, keep your eyes peeled on geekade.com and stoneagegamer.com. Anyway, are we back? Is it time for my favorite segment?
Oh, sure. Hi, everybody. We are back. We've made it. Survived another break. Dan went to the bathroom with his headphones on. I went to go make sure my kids went to bed, which they kind of sort of did. And that means that it is time for my favorite segment and your favorite segment, everyone's favorite segment. Strap your balls in. Wiggle.
Don't threaten me with dick talk. I'll whip it right out. No
idea why I said that. Welcome to Week Old News, where we talk about all the news that was new a week ago. We now go to our senior dog-smelling correspondent, Dan Ryan. Face it, you smell like dogs. You live with enough of them. It's true.
I certainly do. Our friends over at Time Extension report that the canceled Splatterhouse RPG Splatter World has been dumped and released into the wild, and this makes me really happy. The only issue that I have with it right now is that it is still all in Japanese. So I need some proper nerds to get nerding and translate this into English. This is an RPG sequel to Splatterhouse Wampaku Graffiti, which, if you're interested in, you can check out the blog section, the gratuitous Rainbow Spectrum, over on the stoneagegamer.com, where I wrote about it a couple weeks ago. But it looks adorable. It looks like it was almost done, if not, basically done, but for buttoning up a couple of things. But lots of times it's interesting to see where these games get like found and dumped, right? This one was dumped on 4chan, which is terrible, but it is out there, and you can, if you read or speak Japanese, you can go get this and play through the sequel to Splatterhouse Wanpaku Graffiti, except it's an RPG. It looks great, it looks adorable, and I want to play it.
Yeah, I saw this story and immediately thought of you.
Yeah, right? Like, this is, like, son of a bitch. This is for me. Thank you.
Very for you.
Oh, also, it apparently only works on FCEUX, the Nintendo emulator, which I've never known if I'm supposed to, like, read that as letters or as a word, but, you know, either FCEUX or FCUX. Which I believe
maybe
is
it's French.
How you pronounce it. Oh, FCU.
Anyway, and speaking of things being dumped, Time Extension also reports Sega Technical Institute's canceled Mega Drive RTS Dark Empires has just been dumped online. It was a dragon-based RTS for the Sega Mega Drive. I didn't even know this was a thing. But apparently it was, and yeah, neat. I don't give a shit about RTSs. I'm sorry. I know I should.
No,
but,
I mean, I like them.
But this is cool. Yeah, I'm sure they're very good. They're just not for me, but I'm liking the look of it. Like, it's just like a bunch of dragons. Just some dragons over here. Got more dragons over there. We're gonna move around the map with some dragons and put some dragons and. The yellow dragons.
Cover up that hole with some dragons.
Just dragons everywhere. Dragon ass.
Yeah,
good stuff.
There are certain RTSs that I like. I was just talking with Penn's friends were over. We were talking about Brutal Legend. That is one of the few RTS games that I've played like through to completion. But like dragons are always welcome. I love dragons.
Same here.
More lost media is always a good thing.
Yes, I am loving all the discovery of these things that have disappeared in the world. And now they're not disappeared. They're undisappearing.
They are undisappearing. And, you know, Kris, if you were looking for a way to play some of these emulated games... then
I saw this headline you posted. I really want to hear why this is important, because I have no idea.
Well, so... our friends over at The Verge report that Red Magic's liquid-cooled gaming phone starts at $749. And look, a lot of our devices, right, our phones, can play games. But there are very few of them where that is the main focus, because as the Nokia N-Gage showed, there's ways for that to go super duper wrong. But this company, Red Magic, the Red Magic 11 Pro, will be the first phone that will have a true, actual liquid cooling system inside, so that you are not overheating your phone as you are gaming on it, if that is a thing that you wish to do. And look, is this something for me? Definitely not. I am more than happy staying in the Apple ecosystem. I am not looking to do all of the different things that you can do outside of the Apple ecosystem, right? There's a lot more that you can do with Linux on phones. With the Android operating system is a lot more open. There's a lot of things you can get streaming and just a ton of shit if you are into this. And if you're looking for a device that can handle a lot of different things, there are these products out on the market. I thought it was neat that we are getting to the point, though, where we are having liquid-cooled phones, which, as these things become just kind of in general more power-hungry, is something that we're probably going to need to see in the future regardless. So, yeah.
I mean, I just dunk my phone in water whenever it gets too warm. It seems to be working out great for me. If that's liquid cooling, right?
I had never even considered that. Yeah. This one does also have a headphone jack. So if you're one of those people who's like, but it's not, it doesn't have buttons and jacks and shit. Like, maybe this is for you too.
I just keep thinking it's the phone equivalent of a waterbed, and I want it to be squishy like a waterbed.
Perhaps it is.
Waterbeds are so cool.
They really are, but they're so
always had that
impractical.
one friend that had a waterbed, and you'd get on it and be like, wow, this is really cool. And then you like think about the actual reality of sleeping in a waterbed, and you're like, I'm so glad I don't live here, but man, this is a nice place to visit. Everything's so
just
sloshy.
An absolute disaster.
Terrible
in
idea.
Practice.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Speaking of things I don't understand, TechCrunch reports Microsoft inks $9.7 billion deal with Australia's IREN for AI cloud capacity. I read this whole thing, and I don't understand any of it other than blah, 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 AI, money, blah, blah, blah. More money than you'll ever see in your life is being spent on making AI more expensive for everybody, blah, 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 Microsoft, blah, blah, blah. The end. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I mean...
So they're putting a whole bunch of money in some AI stuff. I still hate it, so fuck off. Into the sun.
Yeah, this and the next story seem to just continue the shockingly bad wave of publicity that Microsoft seems to be intentionally garnering for itself, right? Because, as this story said, Microsoft is leaving no stone unturned in its quest to secure more compute capacity for meeting its customers' heavy demand for AI services. And maybe that is true. But we also copy that with the next story, also reported by TechCrunch, that Microsoft has invested $15.2 billion into the United Arab Emirates as a test case for U.S. AI diplomacy. And where this becomes a little bit more interesting is that as part of the deal, the United States has granted Microsoft a license, and they are the only ones with this license, to export NVIDIA chips to the United Arab Emirates. NVIDIA themselves were just valued as the first, I believe, $1 trillion company earlier this week as well. NVIDIA happens to be involved in a lot of gaming shit, and we are continuing to be going down this path, Kris. I mean, it just seems to be that we are rushing headlong into AI development coming out of one particular side pretty strongly, taking all of this news coupled with the news of, like, what was it, 4 weeks ago, the discussion on how AI is going to allow their developers to be more creative and all of that shit. And it just seems like Microsoft is headed down a really dangerous path. And their gaming sector is obviously going to be affected by this. There's just no way it can't be. And I hate it.
I hate all of it. I hate that this is what my industry has become.
You know?
It makes me very sad.
Yeah.
It's all getting too big for its own britches. It's all just like everything's getting bigger and bigger. It
feels like we're headed for a crash. Right?
It does feel like at some point, like, I don't know, I was looking at something earlier about the Fantastic Four movie hitting streaming, and I was like, man,
right,
Marvel really got, they went super big, and then there was like really nowhere to go, and now there's just no excitement behind it. I feel like that's video games as a whole right now. Like, I saw somebody, I wish I could remember who posted it. It was some sort of headline in my news feed, but the headline was, the next Mass Effect game needs to go AA. And I was like,
oh yeah, I saw that.
100% agree with you. This AAA, quadruple A, quintuple A nonsense, like, games need to be multi-trillion-dollar operations that people sign up for monthly fees, and it's all just getting too big for itself. It's all just this money vacuum, and boy, wasn't it cool when people just made games to make games and make a profit so they could make more games, and like profit was based on, well, what's the best game you can make, not the most impressive game you can make. The indie scene still seems to exist. Like, it's not going away, but it's just everything feels.
Yeah, I mean, Silksong
gross.
Came out this year.
It did.
Ball Pit came out this year. Blueprints came out this year, which is one of the most interesting, creative, innovative games that I've ever played. Or not ever played, but like certainly within the last like 20 years. You know, so a lot of it is there, but so much of what it looks like is coming from the big guys, as we've been talking about this, is that it's this kind of paint by numbers, gigantic budget that you just can't possibly hope to continue to grow exponentially.
It all
is
smells
a limit.
Such opulence, and it all smells of gold plating to me. Like, you know, something's gold plated. It sure looks nice, but there really isn't anything going on underneath it that I don't like. So many of the modern big budget games, because I don't feel anything when I play them. You know what I mean? Yeah. I
mean, it's certainly fewer and further between. You know, like Spider-Man 2 cost a boatload of money for Insomniac to make, and I fucking loved that game. I thought it was
Split
brilliant.
Fiction was great. Split Fiction was Split Fiction. That was great.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I haven't played that yet.
It's good. It's good.
You know? Yeah. Anyway.
The Verge reports GTA 6 developer accused of union busting and mass firings. The trade union says that all of the fired Rockstar employees were members of a union Discord channel. Oh, boy. Independent. Well, I'll just read this little quote here. Independent Workers Union of Great Britain President Alex Marshall says, Rockstar has just carried out the most blatant and ruthless act of union busting in the history of the games industry. This flagrant contempt for the law and for the lives of the workers who bring in their billions is an insult to their fans and the global industry. Yeah. I mean...
Yeah.
What do we even say about it? Like, okay, so what? They, Rockstar fired between 30 and 40 employees on Thursday, as previously reported by Bloomberg. According to the Independent Workers Union of Great Britain, all the employees fired were part of a private trade union Discord chat and were either already union members or attempting to organize a union at Rockstar. So, I mean, they've got their plausible deniability. They could have fired these people for any reason. But it seems like quite the coincidence.
It does seem like the coincidence, and also the story came out afterwards. A little context for that is that apparently they fired all of those people for, quote, leaking industry secrets. Whatever the fuck that means. So, I find it interesting. I'm going to jump down on our list and pull this one up as our next story, because Nerdist reports, as well as fucking the Nightly News reported, that Grand Theft Auto 6 was delayed again and will now release in November 2026. So they fired a bunch of people and then delayed Grand Theft Auto 6. Are they related? Certainly, there seems to be a lot of smoke coming from Rockstar in the last couple of weeks. Does that mean that there is fire? Perhaps it does, perhaps it doesn't. We are now getting into borderline ridiculous territory with Grand Theft Auto 6, though.
I could not conceivably care less about Grand Theft Auto 6.
And that, I think, is the weirdest part about this, as for you and I in particular, but a lot of our listeners as well, Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be one of the most gigantic games released in our entire lives. It is going to be, in my opinion, the first $100 like like of the, you know, since we obviously there were games that cost more back in the day, cartridge based, whatever. That's not what I'm talking about. Of the modern era of games, this is going to be the first one to push the price tag back up to $100. At least $100 in my opinion. And it is going to sell massive amounts of copies, and I could not fucking care any less at all. I am so uninterested. And like, I would rather play the next Call of Duty, and I don't want to play that at all.
Girl, same.
Right, girl. Yeah, interesting. Where I feel like, as we were just saying, like with the industry crumbling on itself, I feel like we've hit the fucking Harvey Dent era of video games, where we are now living long enough to see ourselves become the villains. You know? And that's a shame. For some of these companies, maybe it'll be a good thing in the end. Who knows?
I don't. I don't know nothing. Is it my turn? Whose turn is it?
Yes.
Okay. GameSpot reports Nintendo Store app released on mobile shows your play activity dating back to 3DS for some reason. I don't know why this is here. So there's a Nintendo Store app it's okay, cool. It's neat. There should probably just be a unified Nintendo app at this point. I don't know why there's three Nintendo.
Right? Like, how many different things are there?
We've got three, Nintendo Today, Nintendo Switch Online, or just Nintendo Online, or whatever they're calling it. You've got this one, and then you've got the family thing that has your monthly recaps and everything. I don't know why this is in this app, but it's there. Yeah. You can look at your play logs going all the way back to the 3DS and the Wii U. It's not what I would call super accurate. Like, there's definitely stuff in there that, like, no, sure. I played that game more than that. But cool. It still does that bullshit. Like, it doesn't just give you the exact time. It's like, played it for more than 6 hours, more than 5 hours. Like, just tell me how long. Played it for 4 hours and 15 minutes or 13 minutes. Just give me the time.
Yeah.
Just give me the time. Whatever. It's neat. I feel like this app would have been way more useful back in the Switch 1 era, because that was when the eShop was just damn unusable towards the end of that. The Switch 2 eShop seems to work just fine for me, but it's still cool that it's there. It's a nice little app. Seems to work pretty well. I just kind of wish that there was a unified Nintendo app for all of this stuff.
Yeah.
But
it seems odd.
Well, you know what? It does seem odd until you think, oh, wait, this is Nintendo. Of course that's how this is. Of course that's how this works.
You motherfuckers want me to have a whole folder of icons on my phone screen that are all just Nintendo Red. Damn it, I do. You fucking pricks. Speaking of weird, Kris, Polygon reports that the manic multiplayer cooking game Overcooked is, for some reason, getting a TV show from A24.
Sure.
Why? How?
Like, I mean, it's Iron Chef, basically. I don't know. It could be fun. It really could. I love music. I love me a good cooking show. I really do. And I hope it's good, because there certainly has been a rash of shows over the years that are like, let's take a video game and turn it into a reality competition of some sort. Like, there was a Frogger show on for a little while there.
Yeah.
That was really fucking weird. But this could work. This could totally work. I think. Maybe? I don't know. Sure. Sign me up.
In just an absolute sea of games that have been published and would make really awesome TV shows, Overcooked was not at the top of my list.
Well, Overcooked can be turned into a game show, and that's way cheaper than a scripted show.
Right. Anyway, I hope it's amazing. I agree with you. I hope it is amazing.
Time Extension reports, this is a fascinating story, because there's just so much I don't know about it. Commodore Industries is trying to prevent the revived Commodore International from using the iconic name. Confused? We are too. Alright, so I read this the other day, and I'm not sure So there's two Commodores now?
Yes.
They're both, revivals of the Commodore brand, but this new one is not the other one that already existed, and that one doesn't want the other one to be able to use the name because that one's Commodore, but Commodore isn't Commodore. It's fascinating.
They should call themselves Comma More, right?
Comma Window.
Oh, that's worse than Comma More. I thought mine was lame. Comma Window.
Yeah, that's right.
Comma Floor? At least rhyme it.
Oh, what's doors and floors? No, doors and windows. Comma Window.
Yeah, no, you're right.
That's the joke. That's the joke.
That's what I was saying. Oh boy, things are starting to come off the rails with a quickness here, Kris.
Yeah, they are. Look, I by all means, read the story. I couldn't possibly put it into words other than this is such a fascinating, weird rights issue that I can't wait to see what happens next and hope that I understand it in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, very, very strange. Our friends at Time Extension also report that we are almost there. Bitmap Bureau's upcoming Terminator game has been hit with yet another delay. This is the Terminator 2D No Fate, which was originally supposed to be released in September of 2025, which then slipped to October 31st. And if any of you have looked at the calendar lately, you'll notice that it is, as of this recording, November 7th, and it still has not come out. And apparently it is still because of the issues that they are having with the physical release and their commitment, which I do think is a good thing, to launch all of the editions, so physical and digital, at the same time. They have now moved it to December 12th, 2025. The company has apologized to its fans for the repeated delays and telling its supporters, we don't take your patience for granted, but we do take your money before we ship you a product, which is why you shouldn't pre-order. Anyway, yeah, this game I think looks great. I'm really excited to play it. I do genuinely think it is a good thing for physical and digital things to launch at the same time. This smells like there's something else going on, though. It's weird.
I don't know. I mean, it sounds like they're having trouble with the physical edition because physical editions can get stupid complicated. And I don't know.
Yeah, but like, okay, yeah. It's just weird.
Yeah, it's super weird, but you can run into so many different issues of like, oh, we can get these things printed up, but we can't get these cases shipped to you in this amount of time. It's got to take a different boat that's got to go to 3 different ports instead of 2 different ports. So now it's going to be an extra like 2 months maybe, and we're not going to get back to you on this either. Like, you're going to call and you're going to want to know where all of your stuff is, and nobody's going to answer to you at all. It's on a boat somewhere.
This is sounding personal, Kris. Is this maybe something you've dealt with?
I've dealt with things similar to this, where it's like, all right, we're going to give you this like extremely distant date to be like, look, there's no way it's going to take this long. So this is when it's going to be done. And then you'll be like, all right, cool. So this will be done by then, and this gives us plenty of time to get everything in order. And then when it comes to parts and plastics that come from all over the world, it can just disappear for months at a time. Like, what? Well, where's our stuff? I don't know. It's on a boat somewhere. It'll turn up. Well, that's not great, but that's the world we live in right now. So, yeah, these things happen, man. Making physical products can go so far south so very quickly. And there's just really not much you can do about it because the world is a horrible place filled with horrible people. Speaking of which, Nintendo Life reports Square Enix hit by mass layoffs as part of global restructuring. Again, Steph Sterling said hit by mass layoffs. That's not the right terminology. And any place who uses that terminology is not. The correct terminology is Square Enix indulges in mass layoffs as part of global restructuring.
Yep.
So yeah, over 100 jobs in the UK are potentially affected. Square Enix President Takahashi Kiryu held a video call to staff outside of Japan, including Europe, the UK, and the US, tell employees that a fundamental restructuring of overseas publishing organization will be taking place. So, it does come at a time when the video game industry is struggling, and over the 3 years after Square Enix already sold off a number of its international development teams to Embracer Group, whatever the heck they were called. Remember when Square was like, yeah, we don't need Tomb Raider. Fuck this nonsense.
Yeah. This is dumb. We make the Final Fantasies. That's what we do.
I don't know. It all just smells of stink to me.
Yeah. You're not wrong. I hate it. Speaking of things I hate, GameSpot reports Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra has been delayed again indefinitely.
Until this headline showed up, I forgot this was even a thing. That is how little I care about this.
Yeah. Which is, I think, a bummer, because I am genuinely, or was anyway, excited about this game. Captain America and King T'Chaka taking, a Marvel game taking place in 1943. Amy Hennig directing, it's her new company, Skydance Games. She was instrumental in the Uncharted franchise. I was excited for a Marvel game coming from her and her team. But they put out on Twitter that it is an ambitious project, and we are committed to ensuring it meets the level of quality that our team, players, and fans expect. And then that was it. Like, there has been no, so it'll be coming out at the end of 2026 or 2020. It's just, this also feels like this. It's just been a really negative news week. Like, this feels like the announcement that is made before the game is canceled and the studio is closed. Right? Like, that's what this feels like to me. And I super duper hope that I am wrong.
It does have a little bit of that stink to it, but yeah, you never know.
Yeah.
Boy, speaking of stink, Mashable reports Texas AG sues Roblox for, quote, putting pixel pedophiles and profits over safety. That's the story.
Yeah,
Roblox
this is one of
just a cesspool. It's just a cesspool. And I don't like a lot of stuff that happens in Texas, but, good for you.
This one I support. Yeah.
We cannot allow platforms like Roblox to continue operating as digital playgrounds for predators where the well-being of our kids is sacrificed on the altar of corporate greed. I mean, you're not wrong, Attorney General Ken Paxton.
You are a fucking asshole, though. Just putting that out there. He has said some shit.
America first warrior. But look, even a broken clock is right twice a day. This is I mean, you did say pixel pedophiles. Like, okay, real cute alliteration, but, fuck all the way off, please. Yeah. Roblox sucks.
I find this one interesting, because Roblox really is the wild, wild west, man. There is a lot of just unmoderated shit on Roblox, and with, life is hard, and adults are feeling it, as much as kids are feeling it and whatnot, and the kids get to try and escape into these worlds, which is what video games, are. They're this, power fantasies and escape and all of those things that are so positive about them. And it's a way for parents to be like, shut the fuck up, here's the tablet. I need a fucking minute. I need a minute. Shut up, leave me alone. But then, kind of trusting that where their kids are going is going to be relatively safe. And it turns out that Roblox really fucking isn't, you know, a lot of times. Anyway, going back to what we were just kind of talking about, though, Push Square reports that a recent study claims that physical PS5, and I assume this applies to everyone else, physical PS5 games are 100 times worse for the planet than digital downloads. And it's like, oh, man. So, a fascinating report by French carbon accounting firm Greenly, as published by GamesIndustry.biz, delves into the environmental cost of buying Blu-rays as opposed to digital downloads, with the study claiming that the manufacture and transportation of retail releases can be up to 100 times more carbon intensive than simply purchasing from the PlayStation Store. According to the research, pressing and shipping up to 1 million PS5 discs emits up to 312 tons of carbon dioxide. And that's a lot.
That's a lot. Carbon dioxide isn't heavy.
No, it really isn't. And that's not a fair it's not a fair compare. It's a lot. It's a little bit more nuanced. But like, so I feel that, right? Because every time I like come home from the store with shit, Tiff looks at me and she's like, but why though? But like, why the physical plastic? You're not helping. And I said, I know I'm not. But
you're not helping one thing, but you're
happy.
helping another thing. It's
yeah.
I understand this one, and yes, there's an awful lot to be said for environmentalism. You're 100% right. I
mean, there just
I don't
is,
think
and
it
at
is
this
that simple.
point,
and there are things in this world that are hurting us a lot more than that. It makes for an interesting story to look at that.
It does,
and say, yeah, absolutely. But there are so many other things that we can and should be doing that make so much 100%. More obvious sense. Like this is like the plastic bags at the grocery store kind of a thing, where it's like, yeah,
right,
this is terrible, but this is distracting from that thing there that's killing everything. Like Godzilla is over there just completely destroying a city, but like, yeah, I mean, this puddle is pretty dirty. You should probably clean up the... You probably shouldn't be using all those plastic straws, right? Like, okay, but the world's on fire. Yeah, but you're using the plastic straw. If we can just take the plastic straws away, then you see, this is really important. You're going to make a big difference. Like, okay, sure, it's going to make a big difference not using the plastic straws. You're not wrong. However, it wouldn't need to make as big a difference if that thing over there wasn't destroying literally everything.
Yes,
it sucks that there's all this plastic wrapped around our plastic video games, but there's also an awful lot of plastic around, I don't know, all of our food. And you know what you don't need? You know what ketchup doesn't need to be in? A plastic bottle. So, you know, it's like kind of forest for the trees kind of a situation there. Like, you're 100% right. Yes, making all these physical things the way that we do, it certainly could be better for the environment. There are ways to lower the carbon footprint on that kind of a thing, but there is other value in this kind of thing, and you can't print a Blu-ray on wood. But
but you could make the case out of glass.
You could make the case out of less plastics. I don't know what PS5 cases look like these days, but I mean, there's recycled plastic options. I know Wii U game cases were they cut a ton of plastic out of Wii U game cases towards the end.
Didn't they have that little like recycling sign?
Yeah, like they just
in
cut
the middle
entire chunks of the plastic out, because why bother wasting the plastic, right? Let's use less plastic to make these cases, because there's no reason not to. Go for it.
Well, and I do think like one of the things that I found so fascinating about this story is exactly the response that you had, because I had that response internally too, of like, yes, but fuck you. This makes me happy, and I need that part of it too. Like, and I'm not saying that dismissively. I'm being genuine in that, of like, the world is on fucking fire. I need a little bit of happiness, otherwise what's the fucking point? but it also then highlights the bigger issue of how we end up in a place like this, because we all just sit here and go, yeah, but fuck you. And the other side, who, make no mistake, is doing so much more damage, also is approaching it from the yes, but fuck you. Like, I should get to make more money. Fuck you. You don't get to have the thing you want because my shit's more important. It's how we end up at the impasse where we have, where scientists for decades now have been like, this is going to be really bad, guys. And all of us just go, yeah, what can you do? Guess nothing. Fuck it.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's almost like if you have, not to get too political, but if you have unfettered capitalism and no regulations, everyone who is in a position to make all of the money is going to make whatever decision makes them the most money, not what's best for everything in the world.
Right.
When you look at video games, in order to have a physically backed up product, there are only so many options available to make something like that happen. That is the kind of thing that plastics exist for. Now, are there better options? I want to say things like Switch game cards are a more, I don't know if environmentally sound is the correct option. I'm not educated enough on it, but I do think that there is less involved in stuff like SD cards and stuff like that than Blu-ray discs, which, as neat as they are, I think we're past that now. As far as a storage medium, so there is some wiggle room in that. But the fact of the matter is, if you're going to have
the gigantic AI data center that is just destroying things globally, that's what I'm talking about.
Let me
have my Blu-ray,
and other things.
dick.
There are lots of things that are made of plastics in the world that don't need to be made of plastics. They just are made of plastics because that's what's cheaper. It's worse for the consumer. It's worse for the environment. It's worse for everyone's health. It's worse in every conceivable way, except it's what makes them the most money. Yes, we could make this out of glass, but that would cost us X amount of money. So we're going to save money by making it out of plastic. Oh, cool. Are the consumers going to get charged less? Fuck no. No, we're going to charge the exact same, if not more, but I'm going to make more money because the general sentiment is fuck you, I got mine. That's the American way. So yes, you're not wrong. The video games, making the physical video games do have a cost, but it is one of those things that's like, well, if there's going to be a physical version of this, these are the materials that this kind of needs to be made out of.
Right.
But it's all just it's an interesting story and a way of pointing the finger at saying, like, check this shit out, huh? Wouldn't it be great if everything was digital? Here's why. Here's a great reason that everything can be digital. Anyway, moving right along. I'll get off my soapbox. I'm going to take this last one so you can take the Sony one. Nintendo Life reports Nintendo states its intention to acquire more development teams. This I find quite interesting. Nintendo typically does not acquire. Acquiring companies is not really their go-to. And when they do it, they're usually very careful about it. And they don't typically dissolve them. Now, this is one of those situations where you've seen, I want to say, like Monolith Soft, for example. They bought Monolith Soft, and look at Monolith Soft. They're doing great. There's, what is it? One Up Studio. Founded.
That sounds right.
They used to be called Brownie Brown. I'm thinking of the wrong thing. Hold on a second. That was the company I was looking at. Alpha Dream. The people used to say, boy, Nintendo should really buy Alpha Dream. And they didn't, because that's not really their way of doing things. They buy companies when they feel that there's something they need out of it that they can't do, that this company can. And Alpha Dream made all these Mario and Luigi games, and they went bankrupt. Now, if Nintendo had owned the company, maybe that wouldn't have happened, but also Nintendo didn't need to own the company. So, like, Nintendo recently acquired, what's that shitty company that did Donkey Kong Country Returns port? Donkey Kong Country Returns HD was Forever Entertainment, right? Nintendo recently bought Forever Entertainment, or purchased a more stock in Forever Entertainment. Controlling stake, something like that. And they bought that company because they needed somebody to do more port work, like Donkey Kong Country Returns HD. I wish they hadn't, but I understand why they did, and I'm hoping that they will continue to get better under Nintendo than they have been. If that is even the case. I'm still not 100% sure on where that lands. But so whereas the precedent for other companies like Microsoft buying studios and then them circling the drain and picking them for parts and then laying off a ton of people, Nintendo does not have that same record. That is not to say that they won't do this, because Nintendo has been a bit more... It's so typical? Weird, because every time I look at Nintendo and think they're being more typical, I look at the rest of the industry and say, well, shit, is everyone else just getting worse faster? Or is this just them responding to where the world is right now? It's impossible to tell because they're such a secretive company. We don't know their motives behind so many things. Whereas Microsoft's just like, yeah, money. That's our motive. Ta-da. Like Nintendo's like
pretty upfront about that.
Yeah, Nintendo could be like 2 months from now, they could be like, yeah, you know all that weird shit we were doing? It's in service of a new bread-fueled helicopter program that we're working on. Because you just don't know. You have no idea what they're going to do next.
Perfect sense.
And you just be like, okay, yeah, bread-fueled helicopter. Why not? Let's do it. You just really don't
move away from fossil fuels. Bread is plentiful.
But yeah, so it is entirely possible that they could be doing that, but it's also entirely possible that they might be in the market to purchase new studios because of the problem with their output. They haven't been able to put out as many games as they could, and I think I kind of feel like a lot of Nintendo is being stretched a bit thin, and they know that there's so much more demand for their products that if they had more development teams under their umbrella, that they could probably increase their output and hopefully not sacrifice too much quality in the process, like Donkey Kong Country Returns HD. Not that it's bad, but it's not up to what you would consider Nintendo's standards. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
yeah.
I don't know. It's an interesting story. I'm cautiously optimistic about it. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing, right? In the idea too of like, who would you want Nintendo to acquire, and like who would you be upset about if Nintendo acquired? Like, I would have been so much happier, I think, if like Double Fine, even though the relationship was not there previously, I feel like their games would feel more at home on a Nintendo console than they do on an Xbox console. As far as like being console exclusive, even though I know that it's not the point that Xbox is going multi-platform and all those things. You know, like, would you want to see a company like WayForward get acquired by Nintendo? Like, is that the strategy Nintendo is going to go? Or is it going to be like what you're saying of these are the companies that we're working with that are making games for us, so we're just going to kind of bring them into the fold?
Right. I think with Nintendo, traditionally speaking, with Nintendo, when it comes to company purchases, they have taken, what's the word I'm like company culture very much into consideration. So like we all wanted them to purchase Rare, but Nintendo didn't want Rare. Like that wasn't their thing. Like they didn't have that kind of cultural relationship that just didn't mesh anymore, and Nintendo didn't think that they could get enough out of it. And as much as it pisses me off, I don't think they were wrong. I wish that they would have bought it just to have all those brands, but they didn't need those brands.
Right.
Those brands needed Nintendo. It was the other way around. Because like, really, would Killer Instinct really be in a better position if Nintendo owned them? Like, maybe. But who knows? Like, they worked with Rare on that kind of stuff.
Interesting. Yeah, like that's just one of the most interesting what if questions, because I think inarguable downward slide of Rare from where they were considered at one point the height of the industry to where they are now. Is that because of them? Is it because of Microsoft? Is it because... Would it have been different under Nintendo if they were held to the Nintendo level of quality? Would Grabbed by the Ghoulies have been this really awesome thing if it had the Nintendo polish that would have come along with being an official part of Nintendo?
And I think the answer to that question is Star Fox Adventures, which was fine. Right. It's a cool game, but
sure.
Towards the end of Nintendo and Rare's partnership, they weren't cranking out masterpieces. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of that talent had left the company, and it would have been nice for them to own those brands. It wasn't what made financial sense to Nintendo at the time, and I hate saying that they were right, because they were, but I care about the Rare brands more than I care about Nintendo's profits. So that's where I come from as somebody that's not invested in the company.
Right.
Anyways, it's an interesting thing, and who even really knows what it's going to turn into? They might just be buying smaller things, just workhorse studios. Who the hell knows? I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see, and maybe in a couple months we'll be like, holy fuck, Nintendo bought Konami? So, son of a bitch. Didn't fucking see that coming.
Nintendo's all in on the pachinko business now.
That's right. Nintendo buys Take-Two. Grand Theft Auto 6 now exclusive to the Switch 3. Like, oh, son of a bitch.
But compatible with Switch 1, so it's going to look terrible.
Somehow, yes. Also, there's going to be a Wii U version. Because why the fuck not? Finally, Kris, our friends over at Push Square report that a leaked cross-buy icon on PS5 hints at a mysterious, although pro-consumer move from Sony. So the original story was published on Wednesday at 7:45 a.m. It was then updated later. An icon has been discovered on the PlayStation, and it appears that this icon has been a part of the system files since March of 2025. And what it says cross-buy. Okay? So right now, there are no things that are cross-buy on PlayStation. But right next to the cross-buy icon that people have found, there is another new symbol that has PS5 in a white background with black text, and then as part of the same icon, but with a black background and white text, PC. So what the speculation here is that this is going to be something that Sony officially launches as kind of a counter to Microsoft's Play Anywhere idea. And the hope and speculation is that this will enable you to purchase a game once and be able to play it either on your PlayStation branded system and a PC as well, which would be a huge step forward for Sony as far as dipping their toes even further into the PC gaming landscape. Everything that Sony publishes that comes to PC ends up there like a year to 2 years later, which is not ideal, right? You with the types of systems that are out now, there is parity, if not more power in a dedicated PC versus a standard PS5, even a PS5 Pro. So having that sort of cross-play feature or that cross-buy feature, I think would be something just really, really awesome and shockingly, as the headline states, pro-consumer from Sony.
Yeah. More easy buying options for folks is cool. possibly Sony games hitting PC sooner than later is also cool. But
I think it would be a really interesting thing to see both Sony and Microsoft kind of adopting the PC experience as well, with Nintendo just being fucking, for all indications, completely uninterested in bringing their games to computer platforms.
To any platforms that aren't owned by them.
Yeah.
Bless their silly old school hearts.
That's right. It is an interesting thing, but I do think it's pretty cool in there.
Yeah. Well, anyway, that's going to wrap up week old news, which means it's time for us to take another break. When we come back, we're going to hit you with a checkpoint. Talk about what's been going on. You're listening to the Stone Age Gamer podcast from Geekade.com. Stick around. Do you miss the days when you'd get a fresh issue of Nintendo Power in the mail every month? It was stacked with reviews, previews, and all manner of cool new stuff about the world of Nintendo, and it even came with a free poster. Well, you don't have to miss those days anymore because Nintendo Force is here. Functioning as a spiritual successor to Nintendo's classic magazine, Nintendo Force is staffed with top-notch writing talent, and me for some reason, to deliver fresh new reviews, previews, and more right to your door every other month. And yes, posters are still included, except ours are double-sided. So if you want the thrill of learning all about the world of Nintendo in physical format, head on over to NintendoForceMagazine.com and learn all about it. Nintendo Force Magazine, the force of Nintendo fans.
Hey, I'm Ryan.
And I'm Andy. Neither of us are David Crane, but we are the hosts of David Crane's Amazing Movie Time.
That's our monthly Geekade Patreon exclusive podcast that covers movies that are cult classics, weird, or just sometimes laughably bad.
We ourselves have at least two of those qualities, so I guess it makes sense to hear what we think of those movies in retrospect.
You can hear all that and more by becoming a Geekade Patreon supporter.
And, as always, be kind, rewind.
We are Safe at Home, the leading dog rescue in the heart of New Jersey. Are you searching for a loyal companion, a dog that will bring love and joy to your home? Look no further than Safe at Home. At Safe at Home, we believe in giving every dog a second chance. We rescue, rehabilitate, and find loving forever homes for dogs in need, right here in the Garden State. Our dogs are ready to make a lasting impact on your life. Each one has a unique story, a wagging tail, and an incredible capacity for love. When you adopt from Safe at Home, you're not just gaining a pet, you're becoming a part of our family. Our dedicated team ensures a seamless adoption process, providing ongoing support and guidance. With New Jersey's beautiful parks, beaches, and trails, you and your new furry friend will have endless opportunities for adventures and cherished memories. Safe at Home relies on the support of compassionate individuals like you. Your donations and volunteer work enable us to continue saving lives and finding forever homes for these amazing dogs. Join us in creating a safer, happier community for dogs in New Jersey. Together we can make a difference and give every dog the chance to feel safe at home. Visit our website or call us now to learn about how you can be a part of the Safe at Home mission. Safe at Home, because every dog deserves to be loved and protected. www.safeathomerescue.org.
Hi everyone, Kris here. Podcast listening is free, but podcast creation is not. That's why the Geekade Patreon exists. In an effort to help us pay the bills, we've got a Patreon page set up where you can gain access to our monthly podcast topic schedule, get early access to many of our shows, and more. If you'd like to help support Geekade and keep these shows running week after week, head over to the Geekade Patreon page, linked in the show notes of this very podcast. Anyway, we're back.
That's love right there.
That's love. We were just talking about how excited we are for the Kill Bill, the whole affair.
I almost
'Cause
put
I
it
like
into
that
the week
movie.
old news. Like, that's how fucking excited I'm about. Like, it's not video game related, but I just want to talk about it.
I haven't watched them in so long, kind of intentionally. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I watched them a lot of times in a row, and I loved those movies so much, and I kind of want to save them for when I'm really in the mood for it, and be like, that's going to scratch the itch. And then they started talking about this whole Bloody Affair thing coming out, and it's, oh, shit. Really excited. I guess we'll see. Anyway, it's time for the checkpoint.
Checkpoint!
This is where we talk about what's been going on in our lives. Again, I haven't been doing much video game playing. I'm still really pissed off that I missed a big pop for the first time since Gambler's been back. It was last night.
Oh, that sucks.
I missed it. I don't know how I missed it. Must have been by a couple of seconds because I was down here, I was spinning, and doing what I was supposed to do. And then about a minute after I was down here, I started getting texts about how it was $48. So that would have been just shy of $100 for me, and I missed it on both devices.
Yeah, that's good.
And that would have been great because I sure could use $100 right about now. And I'm really pissed off that I missed it somehow. But that's what happens whenever you gamble, my friend. Eventually, you lose.
100%.
Not that I lost anything. I didn't lose anything. I just didn't get anything. And all my friends are just like, oh, and laundering went great. I earned an extra $20 on top of it. What a great night. And I'm like, fuck all of you. Because I really need that money. I really needed that money. And, God damn it. But other than that, I was talking to Mike Sheridan earlier this week about how the two of us are in a bit of a gaming slump. There was all this stuff that I was super excited for, and then I wasn't able to get any of it because this stupid government shutdown happened and spending money had to be completely stopped. And that we did the UFO 50 review thing, so I didn't get any games to review besides a couple things from UFO 50, which I didn't love. It was just kind of weird to be in a little bit of gaming slump. But we've started planning for the next issue. I've once again thrown my hat in the ring for several things, so I'll have things to play. But in the meantime, I did actually do some gaming this week, which I played a little bit more of it this evening. I started playing EarthBound Beginnings.
Okay.
I was kind of in the mood for something passive to play, so I wound up playing... I just jumped into EarthBound for a few minutes, because that was just kind of seemed like the vibe I was after, and then I thought to myself, I really never did get around to actually playing Beginnings. Like, I played a few seconds of it when it showed up on Switch, and it came on Wii U first, and I didn't do it on Wii U at all. And I played a few minutes of it on Switch, and I just never really dove into it. And so I decided to stick with it. And the people in our Discord that kind of warned me about it, they're not wrong. The game is, at least at the beginning so far, it's very, very difficult. It's very difficult. It's very frustrating. There's just a ton of... The random encounters are just brutal. Just 2 steps later, you're back into another fight. But the music is great. It's got a wild... It's really got that EarthBound personality. But just like EarthBound, you start with just the one character. You start with Ninten. And it felt like EarthBound, when it was just Ness, was like, okay, this is kind of taking a minute to get its hooks into me. But once I got more party members, it just kind of opened up for me and felt so much more manageable. And I'm expecting EarthBound Beginnings to do something similar. But so far, I am genuinely enjoying myself. It is interesting. It is interesting how similar it is to EarthBound as well. Like there's songs in there that I didn't know were also in that game. Like when you go into a department store, the shopping music is the same. Just certain jingles and whatnot. There's such a connective DNA between the two of those games, which is very interesting to me. Since EarthBound is the sequel to it, I kind of wonder how many of those things also carry over into the third one. But I guess I'll never know. I don't know, man. I'll play a fan translation one of these days.
Yeah.
And on that
one of
day,
these days, I might
it.
play those games.
They're really interesting. They've got such a unique personality to them, and the music when the music hits, it really hits. It really just tugs on the old heartstrings. It's very, very good stuff. such a unique experience, especially on the NES. I understand why it didn't come out. I really do, because it's an obtuse game. It was very late in the NES's life cycle, especially here in North America. By the time it was going to come out, like, I get it, but I really wish it did. I don't know how well it would have performed, but I also really wish that it had better box art in the NES app, because they just slapped together the dumbest shit imaginable. It looks terrible. I wish they did like what they did with Star Fox 2, where they made a new original box for it that looked really nice, but they didn't do
something
that.
Really cool.
Yeah, they just slapped the black background and the Nintendo art, and it's like, okay, whatever. But the game's neat, and so I've been enjoying that, and I'm sure I'll get to play. I'll be told I will start getting assignments for the next issue soon, I'm sure, and then I'll be right back into the thick of things. Hosting Quizzo is exhausting, which is probably, it's exactly as exhausting as I figured it would be, even doing it every other week. I just did 2 weeks in a row because I had 2 weeks off because of Karen's birthday, but I'm doing it every other week for the rest of the year, and doing it and all of the podcasts is a lot. It is taking its toll. Like, the weeks that I have that and to also record a podcast are just they're rough. But I don't.
Yeah, that's a lot, man.
I don't want to not do the other shows. Like, that's the problem. I don't want to drop Waveback or Turning Tracks or a Theater Near You. I love doing those shows, and I get a lot out of doing them. But also, I only have so many hours in the day, so I'm running into that problem of, like, what do I do? How do I continue to do everything? I'm a modern woman, and I want to have it all. Damn it.
I mean, yeah, I don't have the answers you seek for that, and I do wish that I did. I know,
I wish I didn't need sleep, honestly. I mean, fuck, it's just such a waste of time. So many hours of the day.
I hate sleeping. I do. It's so boring.
I wish I could just turn myself off and on again.
Stupid. Right? Like, I should just be able to fucking reboot and be done with it. Yeah, like, because it's interesting, right? You say, like, about more hours in the day. I forgot to talk about it last week, because as we recorded on Saturday last week, and it was all, it's so exciting. We get an extra hour of sleep tonight because it's daylight savings time or whatever the fuck. You fall back, spring ahead, whatever. So I have been kind of like struggling of where to fit some amount of exercise into the day. And I was like, this actually, I think, gives me like the perfect opportunity here, right? Because I am used to getting up at 6:30. That's about when I get up to get ready for work, which didn't leave me a ton of time to get ready for work. Because the kids got to get ready. I got to drop them off for school, and then I got to start making my way into Philly. And getting dressed, going to the bathroom, doing everything in the morning. But it was like, whatever. I don't have enough time to add any sort of exercise into that. But I got to figure out a way to fit this in here. So with daylight savings time, I was like, instead of gaining that hour, I'm just gonna get up at what time I would normally get up, except starting on last Sunday, instead of getting up at 6:30, I'm now getting up at 5:30. And it worked out really well because it didn't really change when I was getting up at all. Like, my body didn't have to go through like oh my God, you just went through like a 3-4 hour adjustment. It was like, oh, this is just the same amount of sleep you always get. I was like, all right, sweet. And that's worked out pretty well this week. So I've been getting up. I've been, going out for walks. I talked about it a little bit the last couple of weeks about like trying to count and track the calories. So I started doing that October 8th, I believe, is the day that I first. No, I started it at the before that. I started it before my birthday. It doesn't matter. I started sometime in October, at the beginning of October. And because I've been, relatively diligent with it, I'm down 13 pounds so far, which is pretty rapid. But I had a doctor's appointment last week. He is happy with my progress. He's happy with my numbers. Because I went not just for like a checkup on like, blood work and whatnot, but we also did a cholesterol panel and, all of the other things that got pushed to the wayside because of the cancer diagnosis. Was like, all right, let's kind of get that back on track. And everything was, looking good. And he was like, that's 13 pounds in a month it's not insignificant, but like, maybe don't continue to push at that level. But,
right.
He was like, it's healthy and you're doing okay. So now really the thing is like, okay, I'm getting up and I'm like going for a mile walk, which isn't a long walk, but that's about the most that I can do before the neuropathy starts to kick in and it starts to hurt. But throughout this week, it's gotten a little better, and I'm trying to kind of just take it, take some inspiration from you, honestly, where you're like, look, man, you just every other day, this is what I started with, or I say every 3 days or whatever, whatever you can do that. And then work to get better from there.
Did you do more than you did yesterday? And that's a win.
Yep.
That's
a win.
That's exactly where I started. Mile walks, that's where I started. I would walk Hopper twice a day for a mile. And it was exhausting when I got him. I couldn't keep up. And within a couple of months.
Yeah. And I feel great when I do it, and I'm working some of the DDP yoga into it. I'm actually, I'm looking into getting an Apple TV, the little set-top box. And the reason I want to get that is because the AirPlay and mirroring onto the current TV that I have is just such shit. And it crashes out and it doesn't always work. And I know that getting an Apple TV will certainly alleviate those issues so that I can just pop the DDP Yoga app up onto that and really start to hit that, with like some consistency and whatnot. But I'm kind of in a holding pattern because the rumors are that sometime next week, they will be announcing the next iteration of whatever the Apple TV is going to be. So I'm like, all right, I mean, like I could jump in and I could buy the 4K, the one that came out in 22, and that's fine, and it'll be fine.
That's what I've got, and it's great.
Yeah. I mean,
DDP is Diamond Dallas Page Yoga. Of course it's a fucking wrestling thing.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
I was like, what is DDP Yoga? I look it up, it's like it's a fucking wrestling thing. Of course it is. It is,
but that's going to be the thing that gets me into it.
No,
you know
you're
what I mean?
100%
Like whatever.
Right. It was like Fit for me. Like, if anything's going to get me exercising, it'll be fucking video games.
This will be the one.
There you go.
And he has not for nothing, the DDP yoga shit has legitimately been pretty incredible for what it's done for people.
Of course,
because
he's a fucking professional wrestler. This guy's got to be in shape.
Well, yeah,
they have an appreciation for fitness. Like they need a dig. I was just like, I just thought it was hysterical. No. Of course, you found the wrestling yoga. Of course, you did.
Of course, I did. Of course, I did. But yeah,
I was just trying to do yoga this morning. It was fucking hilarious because I was sick. I was sick as shit, so I skipped the gym, which I never want to do. I hate skipping the gym, but when I'm sick, I'm sick. You got to listen to your body. But I was like, I have to do something because I'm obsessed with filling all my exercise rings on my watch. I've got to do something. I should do yoga, and I really need to do it more often because every time I do it, I'm like, Jesus Christ, everything is so stiff. This is super helpful. But I rolled out the old yoga mat. Why aren't I doing
this all the time?
But yes. I roll out the old yoga mat, and Hopper's just like, cool, it's time to play. in my fucking face, like grabbing toys and shaking them back and forth in my face, like right up against me. I'm like, dude, I feel like shit. I'm just trying to do some yoga. He's like, no, play with me. I felt
Hopper,
so bad.
I'm trying to focus on my breathing, you prick.
It was literally what I was trying to do. I'm trying to breathe, and he's just like thwapping me with this dead rabbit animal. I'm like, come on, dude. Come on.
That's awesome.
But no, that's great.
I
love hearing that you're fitting more activity. It's been such an interesting year. So it's been an interesting couple of years for me getting to that road. I mean, it's been years that I'm almost at 1 year at the gym.
Yeah.
And it was a couple of years leading up to it. Like you said, starting with almost nothing, but it was more than I did before. And it made it a part of my actual life instead of a thing that I'm doing for now. It's not like being
right.
On a diet. It was like, no, I need to make this a part of my life, not just something that I'm making time for now. And it's been working out for me.
Yeah, I mean, and like we've talked about it on the show before, and I know a lot of our listeners have commented on it before. And like, look, I am by no means a fucking fitness guru or anything to that stretch of the imagination. However, I do know that scientifically there is one thing that works, and that is burning more calories than you take in.
Yes, calories in versus calories out.
Calories in, calories out. That is the one surefire way to ensure that you lose weight. And it may be faster for some people and slower for others and all of those things. And my metabolism is all fucked up from the chemo and it hasn't fully kicked back in and all of those things, right? And does it matter what those calories are? Absolutely it does, right? If you are eating, 2,000 calories of chocolate every day, well, that's not the best thing, right? And there are ways to balance it. And there are times where I'm like a little bit hungrier than others. And I'm like, man, I really wish that I could just go grab a cookie or two or, a piece of cake or something to that effect. But, as I'm trying to stick to like 1,700 to 2,000 calories per day, it just becomes this kind of game of balancing out when I'm going to have certain things and, when I'm not. I really only drink now on the weekends. Like it used to be I would have a beer like every day. And never in anything more than just I am enjoying this beer. I'm not drinking a 6-pack a day. I'm just having a beer a day. Right. And that's, with the craft beer that I drink, 200 to 400 calories, sort of, maybe, I guess, because the nutritional information isn't really available for a lot of craft beer and whatnot, because you're dealing with these like small companies and whatnot. But, I knew that, I after the chemo, I've just lost the taste for it as much as I used to. I still enjoy it, but not nearly to the same degree, right? So it's like, all right, I know that I've got X number of calories, and I know that tonight during the podcast, I'm going to have what I have in the fridge right now is Black Butte Porter from Deschutes, which is a really delicious porter. I really, really like it, and it just started showing up in New Jersey again, so I was excited to pick up a 6-pack of that. I've now had my 5th out of the 6-pack over the last 5 weeks, right? Like, it's just been one a week. But I know, because Deschutes is a bigger brewery, that's 120 calories. So it's like, all right, I got to be a little bit more careful. I cut out a snack earlier in the day so that I know I can have this later on at the end of the night. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I had pizza for dinner last night, and I knew that I was probably going to end up having something like pizza. So it's just, manage the shit that you're going to eat during the day, and you can kind of get around without doing a whole lot, and you'll feel better. You'll look better. You'll be better. It just takes a little bit of planning and a little bit of willpower. So, yeah, it's been nice.
Word. I'll tell you what else has been nice. This week, I started listening to some classical music while at work. A friend of mine mentioned that she liked classical music, and I was like, this is exactly what I need to focus. What is your recommendation? Right. And so she recommended, hold on, where's the name? Because it was quite good. I just can't remember the name because it's Italian. And
Montriovani?
No. You
went very meatwad. Beethoven.
Ludovico Einaudi.
Okay.
That's not how you say it, because I've heard her say it and it doesn't sound like that. But so I booted it up because I guess they do like that's more considered neoclassical. I think, I don't know. She knows more about it than I do, and it was quite good. I listened to this album. There's this song. It's like one of his more popular songs is Nuvole Bianche. I'm fucking butchering this. Absolutely butchering it.
Nailing it.
Anyway, whatever album that was on, I listened to it. It's quite lovely. It's very piano heavy, but it's been nice work listening to music. Like just kind of as there's something else to listen to other than my usual video game music. So that was it's been fun. And I go to like YouTube Music and listen to a like classical for work thing, and it's just like a bunch of strings and pianos and stuff, and it's very lovely. But yeah. Oh boy! All right, I just got a text from my mom. What was the name of the podcast app? So my mom comes by earlier today. She was asking how much it costs to subscribe to podcasts. I'm like, no.
Nothing.
No, it's not that kind of subscription. It's just, you don't pay. You just say, I subscribe to this, and they will give you they're free. So I was telling her
I guess there would be one or two that
I'm sure there are that you can pay for. I'm sure they're out there. But like, I told her about on her phone, the podcasts app. She just asked what it was called. It's called Podcasts.
Podcasts.
It's just called Podcasts.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take a picture of that.
Your mom's great.
She is, and it's going to happen to me. I'm going to be having this conversation with my kids. I'm going to be like, what's this thing? Technology has eluded me. It's coming. It's going to happen to me.
I got to be honest. I don't think so. Because the amount of times I have the conversation with my children that I have also had with my elderly relatives of like, why don't you fucking know how any of this works? Like, why don't you know how to do any of this? Like, how to click a mouse and make it play YouTube. That's what you know how to do. Why do you not actually know how to use a computer? So fucking frustrating.
Terrible. Yeah. So while I was on this classical music kick, I also went looking for the song that song that it's really quite lovely. I was like, I wonder, there's got to be somebody playing this on classical guitar, because I love listening to classical guitar music, and classical guitar covers of video game songs is a wonderful thing. So I found that song, classical guitar, and that led me to a dude that I didn't know about who does really, really good classical guitar covers of video game tunes called John Oath.
Okay.
So I just downloaded all of his shit, just about. It's a lot of Final Fantasy, which is not my usual fare, but I just grabbed like his 6 and 7 stuff. But oh boy, really, really, really nice stuff. So that's been my week has been kind of fueled by a lot of classical music and classical guitar stuff. Did I tell you that I was trying to teach myself a song on classical guitar?
Yes.
I made a very big step this morning on learning that Undertale song on classical guitar. I now can play, not well, but I am physically capable of playing the first chunk of the song.
That's awesome.
I still can't do it reliably, but I am now able to play all of the notes that comprise the first chunk of the song in this extremely simplified version of the song that I'm trying to learn. Because, can't state this enough, I am not a guitar player. I hit things with sticks. Like, this goes against my nature so thoroughly, but I just love classical guitar. I wish I was good at it. So I'm just working at it a little bit every day. I did miss yesterday and today because I just haven't been able to stop doing the work long enough to get this done, and I also feel like shit, but I will get back to it hopefully tomorrow. But yeah, I've made a little bit of progress. I was so proud of myself. I just got over this hump of the first chunk, and like, all right, it made sense. The math finally mathed. And the second section of the song is a lot easier than the first, I think. Just thinking about it mathematically, like, there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of complicated movement going on. So once I master the first part, I'm going to start working on the second part. But I'm not going to move on until I've mastered the first part. Once I can play that first chunk reliably, that's when I move on to the next. That's the plan. So it's going to take a long time for me to get through this. But once I do, I'm going to be very proud of myself.
That's outstanding.
Nice.
I would, if you are looking for a classical guitar player to listen to, I would recommend incredibly highly Al Di Meola. Just fucking outstanding. Al Di Meola, and there's another guy named Paco de Lucia, and they have a couple records that they did together. And then both separately, Di Meola and De Lucia have some just really, really incredible things.
So, I like the sound of incredible things.
For what it's worth. I like Al Di Meola a little bit better than Paco de Lucia. However, they are both just incredible guitar players that just make really, really lovely things. So, in case anybody wants to broaden their horizons.
I'll broaden your horizons.
I was waiting for it.
Man. What about you? You got anything?
Not much, man. This week, I started painting the bathroom this week, and I remembered just how much I hate painting with glossy paint. It is the fucking worst. I much prefer painting with matte paint. Because any sort of like gloss and enamel based paint is it's much harder to work with. It's much stickier. It's just very frustrating. But we decided to do the entire bathroom the same color, and we're taking a swing here, and I'll see how it turns out when we're done with it. But we are doing the walls and the ceiling. And I think we are also going as far as to do the door and the molding all in the same color. The door and the molding will certainly come last because I have to remove all of the molding and all of the doors and just sand the ever-living shit out of them. Because they are in the bathroom, they have been painted and repainted with just shit enamel paint over and over and over again. That there's really no way to paint over those at this point. But we're taking a swing, and we're going to see how it looks. Mostly because we plan on doing a wainscoting in the bathroom eventually. So if it sucks, that will just push us towards getting the wainscoting earlier, you know what I mean? And replacing or repainting some baseboards after I strip them down really won't be all that difficult or time consuming. It's just a matter of being able to do it. And the weather changes have continued to fuck with my hands because, man, this week has been nice and warm-ish. I mean, it's only been like in the 60s this week, but it's been nicer than it was last week. But then next week, I think we're looking at highs in the 40s, and my body is just like fucking having a really hard time adjusting back and forth between those swings, and it'll continue to get better. And I'm trying to continue to give myself like kind of just that time to heal and whatnot. But I do get, you know, frustrated and discouraged by it. But I really didn't do a ton of gaming this week. I put a little bit more time into No Man's Sky. It's really awesome. I just need to find the time to because I really want to sink my teeth into it, but I also really need to finish Silksong, and I really need to finish Death Stranding 2, because I also really need to get Ghost of Yotei, because it's kind of weird, right? Because as much as I want to just play those games, I also feel some amount of journalistic responsibility to have played through most of Ghost of Yotei before I decide on what my game of the year is. You know, because I know it's going to be somewhere up there. I imagine anyway, it's going to be somewhere up there. But I did play, you know, I'm almost all the way done with Death Stranding 2. Almost finished with Silksong. I finished Bonanza. I finished Blueprints. Like, I finished a lot of bigger games, or games that I set out to finish this year. I finished a lot more of them, but I still haven't touched Ninja Gaiden or the fucking Shinobi yet. Now, do I think either of those are going to eclipse Ghost of Yotei or Death Stranding 2 or fucking South of Midnight, for that matter? Probably not. But I don't know. So I have this kind of weird kind of responsibility feeling towards finishing those things, which then at the same time makes me not want to fucking play them. You know? Of like, well, I don't want to play it now because you're telling me I have to. So fuck you. I don't want to. Which has been, it's a weird place to be. I'm kind of in this a similar like gaming slump. You know, we spent more time this week.
A little bit of a rut.
Yeah. We spent some time this week watching the first couple of episodes of Welcome to Derry, that HBO Max show that's like the prequel to It. Fantastic. Absolutely loved it. And I'm not the biggest fan of the Skarsgård It films. They're fine. I like them well enough. But this prequel show I have found much more interesting. We also spent a little bit of time, Tiff and Penn watched through all three in one day, but they watched Nightmare on Elm Street, Nightmare on Elm Street 3, and New Nightmare. They watched those three in one day. So I watched a little bit of that with them, just, you know, kind of spending some time. But most of what I've done this week is read, because like I mentioned a couple weeks ago, I watched The Shining with Penn, and it has been ages since I've read that book. So I've been trying to get through as quickly as I can to get through The Shining. Because it's just such a wildly different book than it is a movie. And as I've gotten older, I have realized that I don't like Stephen King as much as I thought I did when I was younger. But I still do quite like The Shining. It is very, very good. So that's been most of the week, which isn't the worst thing. You know, if I'm like, all right, I'm a little bit in a gaming rut, I'll spend my time, you know, reading. That's okay. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. I heard books are good. I've heard tell of books being...
I've heard those words is pretty okay.
Little rectangles full of words.
Yeah.
I wish that I was more of a reader. I feel like if I was, it might help me sleep better at night. I have a hard time finding things that I actually want to read. So,
I have found the complete opposite to be true. If I start reading before I go to bed, it wakes me right the fuck back up. I cannot read before I go to bed.
I think you need to read more boring books, I think is what it comes down to.
Maybe. But, like, I mean, I've just kind of fallen off. Like, I was going at a much higher clip earlier this year. I was reading more frequently, and then, I don't know, I just kind of stagnated for a little bit. So I'm hoping that this kind of kicks back into it, because when I finish, I'm going to finish it this weekend. So when I finish The Shining this weekend, that'll put me at 14 books that I've read this year, which is a lot more than I've read in recent years.
I had a New Year's resolution this year to read 3 books this year, and I did not do that. Honestly, I really thought I was going to get into this Star Wars book, because I was like, oh, well, if anything's going to get me reading, maybe it'll be Star Wars. And so I got this one Star Wars book that came highly recommended. I got like 3 pages in, and it's like, I'm just not feeling this. I have no interest in this story. I don't care.
Yeah. Which one was it? Was it the Grand Admiral Thrawn shit?
No, it was some episode 1 book. Like, basically it was like Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan. And I love those 2 characters. It seemed right up my alley, but just couldn't make it stick.
I have not really liked any of the Star Wars books that I've read, except for the Grand Admiral Thrawn stuff. So that first one is Heir to the Empire by Timothy Zahn.
Yeah, I've heard that one's pretty good.
That one I like quite a bit, and that one has become mostly canon, but there's still like there's still things in there like that I've had issues with in other Star Wars books, because there's it feels like it goes on for a page and a half, but it's probably only a paragraph or whatever. But there's like a scene where Luke is describing this wonderful beverage that Lando has introduced him to, and he goes on to talk about its taste and the aroma and all this. It's a fucking cup of hot chocolate. And I'm like, okay, fine. Shut up. I don't want to know about this. Like, I don't want hot chocolate being like this magical thing in my Star Wars books. You know what I mean? Like, fucking space wizards with laser swords. Get to that shit. I don't know. The Star Wars books frustrate me quite a bit. But, you know, what are you going to do?
Me? Hopefully go to bed, because it's late. Right, I'm good. You good? You done here?
Yeah. Put a fork in it.
Yeah, put a fork in it. We're done. That's our show, everybody. Join us next week for some reason.
Not for some reason, for a good reason. We're fucking great.
I know. I just forget. If, like, where's my calendar? We just did this. We just went through all of this for like how many for whatever. Let's see. So next week is the shopping list. Yeah, join us next week for Stone Age Gamer shopping list. We're approaching the shopping season, the holiday shopping season, and we're going to put together a little shopping list of the great gift ideas for us. You know, what do you want to buy stuff for us? These are the things that you should buy for. Or, you know, people in your life that you actually want to buy presents for. One or the other. Yeah. Really, whatever works for you.
But mostly us.
I recommend the John Candy documentary. We just finished watching that the other night.
Oh, I do want to see that. I feel like it's going to make me feel things.
It will. John Candy was a very interesting guy. Anyway.
Spoilers for the shopping list, though. It is not, as I do every time, it is not going to be only video game stuff. It will be all types of stuff.
Dog calendars. Dog hair 100%. Clips. You know, the usual.
Donations to the rescue. You know, that sort of thing.
Money donations, not dog donations.
No, please, no more fucking dog donations, you bastards.
Just gonna send you a box of dogs. We're on most social media platforms, and if you want to get in touch with us, we aren't very difficult to find. They're like hats with personality. All it takes is a quick look at our show notes. With that. You'll see links to our social media accounts, as well as all manner of other fun stuff like a link to our namesake, StoneAgeGamer.com, and more useful links than you can shake a joystick at. I'll never be as good at that as Ferg is. Ferg is amazing. If you'd like to get early access to this show's
Thorough.
episodes, as well as a bevy of other shows, thorough, punctual.
Hey, Big Lebowski? Come on, man.
I know. If you'd like to get early access to this show's episodes, as well as a bevy of other shows in the Geekade Podcast Network, check out our Patreon. Also linked to in the show notes, and helps keep this show running week after week, and all our patrons are loved and appreciated. This show's theme song, Squared Roots, was written by banjo guy Ollie. You can learn all about his wonderful music and more by following the link to his YouTube channel, also in the show notes. And finally, as always, we'd like to thank our intrepid editor, Evan, for making the show listenable for all you folks. I'd like to thank all you folks for listening in the first place. That's it. On behalf of Dan and myself, keep playing games.